You think you've got all the time in the world, until the one person who loved you most vanishes without warning and leaves behind the one truth that cracks your whole life open. It started like any other aimless Saturday. I was sulking in my own misery, riding the edge of some undefined sadness. So, I did something completely out of character. I cleaned the garage. You ever start organizing stuff just to avoid organizing your life? That's when I found it. A dusty old diary sitting neatly atop my grandmother's chest of drawers, slightly judging me with its leather-bound seriousness. Inside, a yellowing envelope addressed to me, labeled, "For when I'm gone." Classic Granny. Even dead, the woman knew how to drop a cliffhanger. I rolled my eyes. Dramatic, as always, Granny. But I opened it, and my life stopped. I grew up with my grandma, baker of cookies, giver of unsolicited advice, and master of old-school music dance routines. Always dancing to songs no one under 60 should know. One time, she tried twerking, looked more like a back injury audition. She was warm, wise, weird, and always there. She raised me, with no backup, no manual. She never missed a birthday. She never missed a meal. But somehow, she always missed telling me the one thing I needed to know. Who the hell were my parents? She said they lived in different states and would one day visit. I was a naive kid, happy, loud, choir boy with scraped knees and dreams of being someone important. I didn't question it, until I turned 15, and the silence got louder. I remember it like a slap to the soul. Granny was baking cookies. I snapped. How could you keep my mother from me? What kind of monster does that? You're a bitter old witch who couldn't even keep her own family. She paused, looked at me. No anger, just pain. You know, Joe, the heart speaks loudest when it's quiet. And then she went back to baking. Honestly, I was hoping for a dramatic slap or at least a, "How dare you?" But no, just flour, cookies, and eerie calm. I wish I'd asked her politely and sincerely, but I didn't. After finishing college, I rebelled. Hard. I hung out with guys who thought ambition meant learning how to roll a joint with one hand. Gangsters, came home drunk, partied like the world owed me freedom. I hated Granny but never missed those cookies. That woman, she still baked for me. She'd randomly break into song at night. Sometimes I'd find her dancing alone, doing jazz hands in her house robe like she was auditioning for a retirement home musical. She still left lights on for me. She was lonely, but never bitter. Me, I was full of beer and resentment. I was proud and hollow. Arrogance dressed as independence. One day I told her with all the smugness of a LinkedIn influencer, "Granny, I'm gonna be the youngest CEO ever." She just smiled. You can be. Just don't forget to call your grandma when you do. And Joe, life's not just about being the best. It's about being there, for people. I laughed. Which people? She just smiled that quiet smile. My hands trembled as I read the letter. If you're reading this, Joe, I've already moved on. And knowing you, you're probably rolling your eyes. But hush now, just read. You always ran fast, Joe. But I worried you'd miss life while chasing it. What I never told you was, I had dreams too. A big career in a big corporation. But I gave it all up for you. And I never regretted it. Not once. I stopped breathing. Then came the truth. A truth that shredded me. Granny, she had 2 kids, a boy and a girl, a job. A dream life. Her husband passed many years ago. She worked a 9 to 5, high-paying job, chasing success, missing birthdays, skipping school plays. She turned to her drunk brother to babysit. And then horror of all horrors. Her teenage daughter, pregnant, victimized by both her drunk brother and her son. What? I dropped the letter, vomited. So my father is either, or. I cursed, picked up a box and threw it against the wall. I picked it back up. She had tried to fix it, kicked both her brother and son out, quit her job, fell into a storm of depression. My mother left soon after giving birth. She never looked back. The extended family said I was a symbol of shame, an abomination, a curse. Granny didn't flinch. She raised me anyway, loved me like I was her second chance at motherhood. My whole body started shaking, sweat running down my hands. I wanted to tell you all this in person. Remember the movie tickets, the picnic invitation, the note I sent saying I had something important to tell you. But you never came. And sir, I waited. Until I couldn't wait anymore. I have been ill for a while. Joe, even the strongest trees need roots. I broke, ugly cried. Tears soaked the letter. I was 30 years old and had no idea who I really was. My mom, my dad, my entire life had been stitched together by the silence of one woman's love. I whispered, "I'm sorry, Granny." Then I laughed through my tears, made noises like a goose being attacked. You're probably reading this while sitting in some messy room, eating pizza, and being overly dramatic, probably rolling your eyes. She knew me. I stood up, wiped my face, and for the first time in years, I called someone. A childhood friend, just to say, "Hey, man, you still alive?" Then I did something wild. I baked cookies, burnt them, twice, but it wasn't about cookies. It was about connection. I started painting. I visited an old age home just to talk. I googled trauma therapists. I even tried to find my mother. No answers yet, but I'm showing up now. That's what matters. Sometimes the loudest wake-up call comes in silence. Don't wait for a last letter. No matter what your circumstances, live your life to the fullest. Cherish those who love you. They label you a curse. Prove them wrong. You are a blessing. Call someone who loves you today.